Okay. Hi, I'm Peter Rose, founder of Longwood Currency Trading. Losing 8 pips to make 4. Sounds like an exciting lead in for a movie. Well, that's what I did. So I want to tell the story. As traders, realistic traders, we have to determine within ourselves that we're capable of withstanding losses in order to make profits. And sometimes things go crazy for us. But the only reason they're crazy is because everybody talks about asymmetric gains. Now, I'm going to do a 5x or a 10x or what I usually do, or 5R or something like that. But if you have a mindset where you're looking for asymmetric gains, you're setting yourself up for asymmetric losses. That's the yin and yang of life. And even successful traders don't understand that because they got good enough by losing enough money to understand what not to do. And as Jesse Livermore said, as soon as I learn what not to do, I know what to do. And once you know what to do, you make a lot of money. So I'd be hesitant to take the advice of someone who's made $10 million trading or $400,000 in the last year trading, talking about the asymmetric gains and how they're planning things out. And, I've traded 25 and 30 lot positions before in the past, and I was making asymmetric gains. But when it came time to the losses, I hadn't prepared properly for that, and I took a really large 6-figure loss. And I stepped back from it and I thought, well, wait a minute. What am I trying to do here? Make 20 pips? 30 pips? Maybe ride a carry overnight? Most of the time that works out. But man, when it doesn't work out. And so and a lot of the folks that were listening to me talking about making $2,000 a day and $1,000 a day, they weren't relating to those kinds of numbers. And I think that a lot of the people that were, thank you for emailing me, and this is years ago, and I'm still in contact with many of you, for coming out and saying, gee, I like your approach and I like your thoughts and stuff, but you're talking about making dollar numbers that don't just jibe for me. $500 a day, $800 a day. I mean, if you make $500 a day at a job, you're $100,000. You're a 6-figure earner. Well, when most folks are getting involved in currency trading because they're trying to build an alternate source of income to build wealth, not so much they can buy a fucking car, but because they're trying to build more money so that when they get ready to retire, they've got this wealth. And there's so many people trading FOREX. I mean, I don't know what is it about FOREX. It's one dog smelling another dog's ass. I have to figure out who you are. It doesn't make any sense to look at this thing as a game that you're going to roll the wheel or throw the wheel, and magically your gains are going to far out perform your asymmetric losses. And they're not. From a probabilistic standpoint, they're not, and they can't be. So in talking about, I had to lose 8 pips to make 4, most of the tire kickers, they've left this video, and that's fine. Who wants to make 8 pips? Can't make any money making 8 pips. Hey, listen, Slick, you can make a lot of money making 8 pips. Well, you can't make a lot of money at 8 pips with a $500 account or a $10,000 account or a $20,000 account. It's the fact that you are consistently making 2 pips a day, 5 pips a day, whatever it is, 8 pips a day, that in the long run, over the year, you've accumulated a large percentage gain against your bank. If you know how to do the math, you can work this stuff out, and then you add the probability skews in there using your metrics, your trading metrics that you have. I show folks how to do all this in my fast track program. It's a 6-week program, so we get on it right away. And one of the first things that we talk about is trading metrics and how you build your rules based on your metrics and how to develop good metrics in the shortest period of time on a $1,000 account. Because if you can build good habits trading the $1,000 account, all you have to do is rinse and repeat. But if you screw around trying to take a $500 account and make $3,000 from that, and then use that $3,000 to make $20,000, and then, well, maybe you go to 60. But at some point, from a probabilistic standpoint, you're going to wash out. Your margin out, you're going to lose all that money. You'll lose $60,000. And you'll think, oh, God, I can't come back from that. Well, no, you can't. Every pip that you make is important. It's the accumulation of those pips. Now you say, well, how can I buy a new house and take vacations to Costa freaking Rica 3 times a year if I'm making 3 pips a day? Well, you have a $200,000 or $300,000 account, $300 a pip, and you make 3 pips. What's that? You make $900. That's pretty good. The problem is when you have those larger accounts, even the guys that are getting up to $30,000 or $40,000 level accounts, and they don't pay attention. Well, they don't have a process to pay attention to, but they're not paying attention to those small pip gains and protecting what they have from not getting large losses or a long series of large losses. That's about risk management. If you take care of your risk management, you're all set. And so for me to say, I lost 8 pips in order to make 4, that didn't mean I was 12 pips up and lost 8 and I ended up with 4. It meant that I made several trades and in those trades lost 8 pips. Now maybe that was one stop, maybe that was a couple of short pulls. I mean, I did this the other day. It was a couple of short pulls. And I'm 8 pips down for the day so far on, I don't know, it's probably 3 trades. I think it was 4. And I waited for the opportunity, went in, made 3 pips, went back in, lost 2, went back in, made 5. Anyway, at the end of the day, I'm 4 pips up. So a couple hours to make 4 pips. Now, if you have a $1,000 account, that's $4. If you have a $100,000 account, that's $400. So if you think you're going to take a $1,000 account, lever it up 200 or 500 to 1 and make $400 on those 4 pips, then I can't help you. If that's your belief system, at some point you're going to wipe it out. The 8 pip loss was an asymmetric loss to the 4 that I actually gained. But because I have a process that follows, I could have ended up the day with an 8 pip loss and been fine with that. Over 5 or 6 trades, I'm down 8 pips. I think that's great. Because I'm not letting that go to an 80 pip loss for the day. Or a 40 pip loss for the day. 40 pips is hard to make up. if you're averaging, let's say you're averaging 10 pips when you trade, well, that's 4 days. You've lost 4 days of time when you could have made 40 pips instead of making up 40 that you lost. Risk management, risk management, risk management, and don't listen to the people that are talking about asymmetric anything except I took an asymmetric shit. That's the only thing that somebody can stand proud about. Because when you're talking about trading and you talk about one thing, if you're not talking about the other side of that, the yin and the yang of it, then you're not talking about the complete system. You're not talking about the complete process of resolving that system. Now, you don't use systems to as rules. I'm talking about a system. The market is a system, but you can't use a system like a London Open or Bollinger Bands to solve that, because those things don't work out from a probabilistic standpoint, coupled with your innate emotional issues that you have. You've all seen videos where I've had my mini Australian Shepherd Beau, spelled B-E-A-U, tagging along after me, walking in the woods or whatever, and I call him and he just looks at me and he hangs back and all that other stuff. Well, Beau doesn't know anything about asymmetric anything, and he listens to me rant and he's happy. And when it's time to eat, he eats, and when it's time to crap, he craps, and life is good. But there's a balance of nature there for Beau, because he's not emotionally intelligent enough to screw it up and think about, all I'm going to do is eat, but I'm not going to think about taking a crap. If you don't take a crap, you die. But if you don't have a process, then the 8 pip loss becomes the loss for the day. Now, I'm not talking about scalping here. I'm talking about day trading, where I've got a 2-hour window to trade, not all day. Most of the videos that you're watching out there are people who trade all day. I'm retired, and so I did that for a while. And that's where I ran into my asymmetric wins and my asymmetric losses. If I limit myself to trading for 2 hours, actually trading, looking at the screen and trading, I'll have the thing open all day. But because I'm at a certain point, I'm out of the prime activity for the currency pair that maybe I'm trading at that particular time, it's not gonna go on. Yesterday I was trading and hanging along, and I got to the end of the day and I was up, I don't know, I think I was up 8 or 10 pips, and went back in. I was trading for about an hour, and I went back in and I dropped 4 of the 8, and I thought, well, that's not particularly good, and I'm running out of time when each of the pairs start slowing down. And I thought, this price action appears that at some point there'll be a recovery, so I'm going to hang around here because I see something going on. So I went a little bit over that 2-hour time limit, which is fine. I mean, I could have ended up the day 4 pips up. I'd have been fine with that. But I thought, well, I've got the time. I'll just stay here and answer some emails and watch it. And all of a sudden, I saw some stuff happening. I put an order in. Bing, it hits. I watch it. It's up 6 pips. So, I think I finished the day 8 or 9 pips up, something like that. And that's a good day. That's 0.9% on any size bank that you want. 0.9% on a $100,000 bank, 0.9% on a $1,000 bank. When you are looking at your trading, you have to look at the market. You have to look at your rules and the solution process that you have for your rules. And that third component is your emotional ability to block out all this asymmetric bullshit and just focus on ringing the cash register. For whatever you can get that day, just ring that cash register. If you could make 1 pip a day on a $1,000 account, $1 a day for 200 trading days a year that we use as a basic thing to calculate our trades, you make $200 on a $1,000 account. That's 20%. You make 20% on your money at 1 pip a day. So you don't say, oh shit, I only made 4 pips today. That's okay. Today you make 4 pips, tomorrow you lose 5, then you make 8, and then you lose 6, and then you make 12, and then you lose 4, and blah, 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 blah. And over the course of the year you make X number of pips, which translates into a dollar value, which translates into a percent over risk. To lose 8 pips to make 4 is okay. To lose 4 pips to make 8 is okay. It's trading. It's trading by process based on solid principles, because principles properly applied in a process results in successful outcomes from a probabilistic standpoint. If you have any questions about this, I know it's a little confusing sometimes, flapping my hands and trying to explain this stuff. Send me an email. I'd love to chat with you about your trading and what's going on. Yes, I have a course. I'm not going to try to sell you the course because I don't need people buying courses. I retired a millionaire from my real estate background, and I'm all done trying to make $1 million trading Forex. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in having fun and helping other people overcome the issues that I found when I was doing what everybody else out there said that they should be doing, that you should be doing. And a lot of that is based on these asymmetric returns. And some of the times, there's a guy out there, oh, I made $60,000 today, or I made $30,000 today. You think you're going to make fucking $30,000 or $60,000 today? Oh, I don't think so. I don't think you're going to do that in a week. He's trading $2 or $3 million account. There's so much information out there that there becomes too much information. And so therefore, when I'm working with somebody, I tell you to throw it all away. Cleanse your brain. Take a big crap and cleanse your body. And let's start over. Of all the information that's out there, what's the relevant information? And talking about terms. There's only about, I forget what it is, and I outline it in my fast track course, but there's only about 7 actual terms that you need to understand in order to hit bid ask, to trade. You need to know what price is, you need to know what a limit order is, stuff like that. There's only about 7 things. Each one of those 7 things might have 3 or 4 components to it. Like, you need to know what an order is. But there's limit orders, there's stop orders, there's market orders. So there's 3 types of orders. But see, how tough is that? You learn what an order is, and then when you get into the trading, you say, well, I'm either going to go long or I'm going to go short. I'm going to put a limit order out there and wait till it gets hit, or I'm going to go market right now, bid ask. So you need to learn the relevant information. Then you need to organize that information into some kind of a sequential problem solution, because you're trying to solve how to trade. So you need to organize your information. Do you need to know how to stage or compound when you're beginning to lay your foundation for building a process-oriented trading structure? No. My fast track course doesn't talk about staging. It doesn't talk about compounding, because those are ancillary skills to learning how to be consistent in your trading and to use proper risk management so you don't belly up asymmetrically. Those of you that are under 30 years of age probably don't get this because you don't believe it. You want to believe the guy that's driving around in his Lambo with his ball cap on backwards. Just because you're 22 or 23 or 4 or whatever it is that you are, doesn't get you a hall pass for being stupid. If you want to take my course or talk to me, I'd encourage you to do that. I'm not going to call you stupid. I'm just going to point out the things that you do that could be stupid. And we'll discuss that. And then you can make the determination, well, how do I fix that? Or, nah, I think I want to. And that's fine. That's fine. But for those of you that are 30 and up, you've got a job, you're making enough money to support yourself, you got a little bit of money to save, but the thing is that you have the money, but you also have corresponding responsibilities with that, which makes you more aware of the necessity of good risk management if you're going to do something as probabilistically, deterministically risk rich as currency trading, so that you can maximize the amount of your wealth as you're building through. So you work your job and you're making $40,000 a year or $60,000 a year, whatever that is. The median wage in the United States today is $63,000, and in somewhere else in the world, the average wage might be, or the median wage might be $10,000. But it doesn't make any difference. Everything is relative. But when you are in that position of having responsibilities to pay bills and marshal your money so there's some left over, you're far more likely to listen to the risk management stuff and get your emotional structure under control so that you can incorporate your emotional issues within the process, within the rules that you're using. So if you follow the rules, you're overriding the emotion because the rules are providing you a more pleasurable thing to do, which is to win, than the emotions which you've learned doom you to loss. And that's what we have to do in risk management. We just got to play the game for the joy of it and not for an asymmetric win. Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. Have a great day and have a great trading day.